Hello and welcome to this very special debate on the Realty Show. I'm joining you from a very special place, from the city of Bangalore, one of the hottest real estate markets, not only eyed closely by young professionals, by NRIs, and for its cosmopolitan outlook by just everybody across India. With me today, people who've changed this industry in the city. In fact, most of the real estate that you see across has an association with the gentlemen who are joining me on the panel today. First up, I have with me Mr. KK Malpani. He is the founder president of KOAPA Bengaluru. Mr. Peter Prabhu, who's also been one of the ex-presidents and played a very, very exciting role in the formation of CREDAI and, of course, the journey of real estate of the city.
That's right.
We have with us Mr. Irfan Razack. Everybody knows the company today. People are buying his houses and, of course, the commercial buildings. That's CMD of Prestige Group. And Mr. Ramani Sastri, CMD of Sterling Developers, a gentleman who actually conceived the very idea of CREDAI as a national body to govern the real estate industry. Gentlemen, pleasure to have you with me. I think, Mr. Malpani, I'm going to start with you. The first off, Bangalore has changed. People say a lot has happened for the good. Some of them, of course, maybe you too, miss that old Bangalore. But let's focus on the good of Bangalore today. What has been the good of this
Mrs.
sector?
Manisha Natarajan, my telling is that we started this organization in 1980 with a meager membership of single digit, 8. Today we are plus 200. That time the name was Karnataka Ownership Apartments Association, called KOAPA. We had a problem. Plans were sanctioned up to 13 floors and government decided not to allow more than 4 floors. So we not only moved the court, but we started this organization to see that there is a body to represent to government the various problems from time to time. Immediately, we had a very major issue. Main raw material for the builders is cement, and cement was in scarce supply and was not available. So after that, this was done. Lot of people started joining, and we are, as I told you, plus 200 today with our own office space and with a strong body of the developers who have changed the face of Bangalore.
Right. So Mr. Prabhu, this is why it started, KOAPA, for the developers. But the CREDAI has actually now come a long way. It represents also the interest of consumers. Somewhere it offers them a big protection.
That's right.
So run us through whether that was the philosophy when you were part of it.
Yes, definitely that was part of the philosophy, as Mr. Malpani said. We also felt that there has to be an attitude from the members of this association to also look at the interests of the consumers, to have some planned approach, you know, and uniformity in construction, pricing, and whatever understanding that we could make, so that as an industry body we will be respected in the time to come.
Mr. Razack, you think the industry has reached that state, or you think the journey is still very long? I mean, CREDAI has a lot more ahead of it.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at it from a builder's perspective and even from the citizen's perspective, the journey is always there. You have to continue a journey. You can't say you've reached, because you never reach. There's always a scope to improve. But if you take Bangalore as a whole, as a property market, Bangalore has set certain benchmarks. And after setting those benchmarks, there's only that desire to become better, to improve, to give a better product to the consumer, to give a good deal to the consumer. So as a market, as a property buyer, I think the property buyer gets the best deal in Bangalore at very, very reasonable prices and a great product. I've always said this when any interview, people ask me, why is Bangalore doing far better than a Mumbai or Delhi? I just said, only because the product that's available in Bangalore is far superior than any other market, number one. And for that type of product, the price that is being charged to the consumer, to the home buyer, is really great. So you get a lifestyle property with all amenities, facilities, hassle-free documentation, and at the end of the day, it's a win-win for all. Developers are doing their job professionally, properly. The customer buys their home without any stress, and in the bargain, it's a situation where the market keeps going and everything keeps happening. We've also got a code of conduct in CREDAI for people who are deterrent. All developers who are members of CREDAI have to actually sign that code of conduct before they become a member. That keeps them from not honoring their contracts, and they have to keep an eye on the consumer, which is extremely important as far as the CREDAI members are concerned.
I would, but somehow, Mr. Sastri, statistics do support him. I mean, in a report that I studied in the middle of the year, it said on execution delays, Bangalore tops it in terms of being good in delivery. It's got the least number of execution delays in terms of quality of constructions. It is one of the top cities. So is it really CREDAI which has done it, or is just the sensitivity of the Bangalore developers themselves who've always felt a little more concerned about the customer and the product?
Well, I think in the first place, let's be clear that Bangalore developers per se, if you see, all of them are very, very passionate about the profession that they are in. So it's the passion that is resulting in the product. It's true that most of us are well connected with each other. As members of CREDAI, all of us are definitely looking to do the best that we can. But I think most of the developers in Bangalore are very conscious. And as far as most of them are concerned, they're trying their best to deliver better than the previous project. And that is true because times have changed, products have changed, there's an evolution in the product itself. So I think in adopting the product, most Bangalore developers are front runners. So I do believe that if you compare a similar product anywhere in any other part of the country, we are giving the customer a lot more than any customer anywhere in the country gets, and for a lot less.
Okay, so how have the customer preferences changed, Mr. Razack? Run us through that. I mean, we're looking at smart homes today, and Bangalore was the first city to launch it. We're looking at high-end luxury. We're also looking at affordable housing. So the gamut is really large. But if you were to study the preferences of the young professionals driven by the IT industry, what do they really want? What are they looking for?
Yeah. Now, the first thing is, people like this idea of living within a community which has everything in it: open spaces, spaces for children to play, spaces for the owners to, as a clubhouse, you can have your gymnasium, you have your swimming pool, you have all the amenities. At the same time, you are in a pollution-free environment. Now, what happens is, development after development, there has to be some newness, there has to be some improvement. That's why I said we are keeping on changing the benchmark and setting new standards. Having said all this, it all has to come at a number which is affordable to the pocket of the buyer.
Right.
So that's the big challenge that developers face today, is what is the targeted amount a young professional who's in a job that for 3 years, 4 years, who's got that saving, husband and wife working. That's another great thing in Bangalore. Both the spouse and both of them work. So there's that combined salary. With that saving, how much they can afford and how much they can pay up their EMIs to buy a house. So this is a part of asset creation. And when you're creating a great asset for yourself, it is for life. And then from here, of course, people, once they do well, when the prices move upwards, they graduate, they buy bigger homes. But the first home always is a smaller home at a number, say, anywhere between 30, 40, 50 lakhs, maybe even going up to 80 lakhs. And then that's the beginning for them. And then obviously from there are different price ranges where they can move up to. It's like, you know, I'm on a two-wheeler. I suddenly decide to buy a car. My first car will be either a Maruti 800 or a Santro or
Santro,
something like that.
absolutely.
And then I moved to, always the desire is finally to buy an S-Class Mercedes-Benz if the gods are favoring me and if I do well, if I work hard, if I'm sincere, that's the desire of every young professional, and by the time that young professional becomes a middle-aged person. So
All right.
India's #1 news app just got even better. Download NDTV's new app. Fully optimized for retina display. Full screen view. Faster response time. And Sudoku. NDTV's new iPad app. Download now.